Alrighty then, guys. So it's been probably about 5 or 6 days since last time I touched this car. Turns out we ended up with the wrong timing kit, and I had to order a new one. The new one has arrived along with the timing cover. Right now we're in the process of replacing this tensioner device. Then I'll get the cam gear, the crank gear, and the chain installed. Then we can get the cover on there, which comes with a new oil pump. We'll flush this oil pan out and get this thing back together. Now, I've got the chain all set up. It's got both index marks in line. Just gotta get these slipped over the keyway. It's still pretty tight, but not like the last one. A couple more tappy taps here, and this timing set will be seated. Very nice. There she goes. You to miss. Alright, cover's going on soon, so let's fit the gasket. Kind of a tight fit, but we like it when it's nice and tight. There. Okay, let's get a little bit of sealant in here. Do some in the corner behind this gasket. That way it can't leak at that little seam there. And we'll do the same thing on this side. A little bit of sealant. Go.
The original number 6. Gonna be good still?
Alright, let's get a little bit all along the oil pan.
About 30. 33.
Get some over here. Oh, I hope I got enough. My can is starting to slow down. Yeah, there's enough here. Alright, so now it's time for the really cool part. You see, I was on hold with this car for a while. We were waiting for a new timing set to show up. Okay, so now it's time for the really cool part. Seeing as how this car was here for a few extra days waiting for this cam set to show up, I had the opportunity to do a refinishing job on this timing cover right here, and I painted it to match. So now it's nice and red and shiny, just like the rest of the car. Let's get these lower bolts first. That way everything seals up. Click. And also, while I had time to paint this, I had some time to paint the water pump too. And I did that in black. So let's go ahead and get this set up some and bolt it in just to seal up those gaskets. I don't recall if this one goes here or not, but I need something to hold the gasket in place. If it's the wrong one, I can take it out later. But for now, that's where it's going to go. Ah, I scratched my paint job. That was kind of inevitable, but I didn't want to do that. Click. Yeah, the short one goes there. That one doesn't fit very well. This short one goes up here. That one does fit well, so that one's going there. I can tell one passes through here, so that has to be one of these super long ones. Yep, that goes just fine right there. Okay, let's get some torque applied to a few of these. Click. Let's see, that's the only 13 I had. I think the rest are 10s or something. All right. Click. Now, this one, and this one, along with these three here, ran all the way through the timing cover into the block. Same thing goes for these two down here at the bottom. Excellent. Beautiful. Good. Click. All right, next up on my hit list here is the crank pulley. Let's wiggle this guy in. Now this is keyed to fit on the Woodruff key on the crank, because the crankshaft position sensor is located right here in this area, and it reads the position off of these teeth here that are on the pulley itself. I think that's it. Yeah. A couple of tappy taps. I'm not gonna hammer it in, but I do want to get it on as much as I can with some light encouragement. Alright, and I'll use the crank bolt to finish it off. Got to make sure it's threaded in enough though. You need at least 3 full turns on your threads. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Definitely more than 3. This is good. Okay. Send it. Oh yeah, I got a replacement for my my blown up impact that I ruined last week. Finish it off with this. Click. All right, this coolant hose needs a new O-ring. I had to get one out of my master kit. The gasket set for this particular job did not come with one. I believe that's gonna fit. I think so. Yeah, that's good. Just tappy tap that in. I think that's right. Click. Okay, before I get too much of this thing assembled, I need to get this crank sensor installed. I'm starting to reassemble myself into a corner. It's getting kind of tight. I could have done this a long time ago, but I wanted to get the big parts on first. Plus, I forgot about it. Oh well, no harm, no foul. Speaking of sensors, Vic, I've already dropped into place the camshaft position sensor, this little guy right here. Now that it's got a long shaft on it. It runs all the way through, and there's a gear on that runs off of the camshaft. I didn't index that earlier, but I think I've got it in the right spot. If it's not right, I've just got to back the bolt out and rotate it until it's timed properly. I did not follow the procedure to remove that, setting up top dead center and whatnot, but I can go through that if need be when I go to start it. All right, let's get our little EGR valve in there. I like to start the threads on the tube or the pipe first, just because they can get a little sideways. Okay. And there is a new gasket on this EGR valve. Okay. Yeah, see how the valve pulled this pipe inward? And that would cause a little bit of difficulty if I hadn't threaded that earlier or first. Click. There we go. And a weird 27 millimeter to the rescue. Okay, I went to put this bracket on the power steering pump over here, and I found that I need to swap this stud with this bolt right here, because these holes go like that with a nut that holds this bracket on. So I gotta pull these two back out real quick. Yeah, I knew that there was no way I was gonna get all those in perfectly. Alright, so this one, it's studded on the end, goes down there. And then the regular bolt goes up here. There we go. Click. Click. All right, now I can get the bracket. That's how she goes, like so. And one nut, two nuts. And then I get the two power steering pump bolts in, like so. All right, crisis averted. Click. Potty mouth. Okay, let's press the pulley back on. The inside of the shaft is threaded, so I'll use a bolt and a bearing plate. That will ride against the front of the pulley here, and as I tighten the bolt, it will press the pulley onto the shaft. Still need to go a little farther. Not quite there yet. The front here should be flush with the front of the shaft, and it's not there just yet. But the bolt bottomed out, so we'll use a big nut for a spacer. And do it again. Click. Okay, let's get the water pump pulley on. I threw some blue tape on that because I'm going to spray paint this too. It looks terrible and there's some cuts in it, and got a little bit of paint left over, so I figured why not. There. Shove some more shielding in. That'll stop the overspray. And just a little bit of shiny. No, that didn't work. Now the paint is not adhering very well to this at all. See little spots? I disapprove. Okay, I kind of had to redo that because the paint was separating off the surface here. You can see there's some of it still happening right there. But I also boogered up the paint on the bolts, so I'm just going to touch those up real quick. There we go. Good as it's going to get. And now for the satisfying part. Oh yeah. That's pretty. Nice. It might be tough to see, but I did throw a little bit of black paint on the crank pulley also. Just so it would be extra nice and shiny. And I do believe that goes like so. And around and down. Maybe not. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, that one goes down. What am I doing wrong here? Let's get this off of here. This isn't right. Let's do crankshaft to power steering, and then we'll come up from, yeah, let's do this. There we go. I think this is better. Don't scratch my paint. There we go. That's more like it. Almost there. Okay, let's untension the tensioner, and then we'll slip this guy. I think it goes over the nadir and then under the idler. And naturally, the numbers are facing the right way. That's a big deal. Oh, a little bit of misalignment right here. Dunzo. Beautiful. Okay, so I've already drained all the oil out of this, refilled it, stuck a new filter on there. Everything, all the supporting stuff is here. Let's go ahead and start it and make sure I have this thing timed properly. Not cam timing, but this sensor right here. It's not tightened down just yet in case I have to adjust it, but let's see if it's gonna run. Stopping the engine. Nice. All right, we're good. Powering down. Alrighty, so I pulled this old cam synchronizer or camshaft position sensor out because I found a new one in the box in the car, so I've got to install the new one. I've already removed the shaft, or removed the whole assembly and swapped the shaft over, but now I need to time it. So I've got a spark plug pulled out of cylinder number 1, and I'm going to run this engine over until I reach top dead center number 1. Try to line that up with whatever marks might be on the crank pulley. All data says that there are no timing marks for this engine. Anyway, I'm gonna move this around until I find top dead center on number 1, and then using this little alignment tool that came with it, it sets it up on TDC number 1, then I can reinstall this guy and it should be good to go. Okay, since I'm having trouble locating TDC on number 1 over there, I'm just gonna go in the hole and look with this horoscope device right here. Doo-doo-doo. Powering on the camera. Hope the battery's good. Power on, please. Uh-oh, the battery's dead. Okay, got that thing sorted out. It's plugged into the wall. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so since I don't know if I'm coming up on compression stroke or exhaust stroke, I don't know the position of the valves, and I don't want to pull this valve cover off, I'm going to do the finger test with it. And I'm basically just going to stick my finger in that hole down there, plug the hole, and then rotate this crankshaft as it's coming up. I've already moved it so the piston is back down again, but I'm just going to plug the hole, rotate the crank, and if I feel pressure coming up behind it, then I know I'm on compression stroke. So let's see if my experimentation is going to work or not. So the ratchet's back on the crank, and I'm just going to reach in there. Okay, I feel some air. Now if this was on the exhaust stroke, yep, there's some pressure. Okay, you hear it? Hear that? All right, so that confirms we're coming up on the compression stroke. So let's just go back to the horoscope camera. Uh-oh. Okay, uh-oh. It died. Powering back on. There. Can you guys see? Hope so. No. Okay, so we have determined that cylinder 1 is coming up on its compression stroke. Now, I just need to verify where the top of the piston is. So we're gonna put this back in, and we're gonna, I think it's all the way up still. Yeah, it's piston's right there. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go backwards one more time. We're gonna watch that piston go. Oh, we're going forward. Okay, this right here, that's top dead center. And I'm moving the crank back and forth just a little bit just to make sure I'm right there at it. And that's it right there. That's TDC number 1 on compression. Now I can proceed to install the cam synchronizer. Okay, so according to this graph, the arrow on this little device should be pointed right at that little notch area on the water pump, which I'm assuming is, can't really tell. Oh, it just barely clears the bolt hole here, so we'll go with that as an alignment reference. And if it's not right, I can pull it out and do it again. I don't want to, but you do what you got to do. Okay, that's not it. Let's back it up. Okay, right there at the bolt hole, that looks good. That's right there at the bolt hole. It might be a little off. Let's see if I can move it over one more tooth. If it goes too far, then we know it's in the right position right now. Okay, so let's turn it. And we'll try it right here. That's the same spot. Yeah, we're trying to align. No, I think we got it. Yeah, this the arrow's lining up right there with that little divot, and I think that is this right here. So we're gonna go with this one. We'll try it out and see what happens. So let's put the sensing element back on, like so. I know I didn't show it, but I ended up having to pull all this stuff back apart again. So sorry if you guys missed a few minutes, but it was necessary. Okay, let's plug this bad boy in. And there is a hold down bolt right here, but I'm not going to put that in just yet. Okay, so now that I've got all this put back together, let's go ahead and put the retaining bolt in for this cam sensor right here, and then we'll go ahead and give it a start and see if we have this thing timed properly. I think we do, but I want to make sure before I proceed to put everything else back together, just in case I've got to pull it all back apart again. Okay, finger click. So again, according to that diagram, this line right here has to line up with that little divot right there. It's not very precise, but that's the info that I have to work with. So I've got it lined up where it says. Let's lock this down and do a restart real quick just to make sure we're all good to go. Click, and I've already tightened down these two bolts right here, so this is good. Let's stop. Nice. All right. No misfires. It's not sputtering, shaking. So I do believe that's in time. We're good to go here. Let's get everything else put back together. Finished up. Okay, I do have the fan in. Let's go ahead and get that thing locked down. There's one bolt on this side, one on the other side, and we'll get the plug set up and refill the coolant. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but while I had the intake off and the spark plug was coming up for number one, I ended up replacing all 6 of them with some genuine Ford Motocraft plugs. That clicks there, but it doesn't fit very nicely anywhere. I think I'll zip tie that on. Let's not get those bound up in the fan. Yeah, I'll zip tie this on right here. That'll be good. Miniature clicks. There. You stay. And a snip. Alright, we're in the home stretch now. Let's get the coolant bottle in. And I've got to set up the clamps for the upper hose here. And then we're good to go. That goes there.
Putting them back together.
What's that?
No, he's on the phone.
Oh. Yeah, it's going back together. Nick. Twice. Go into your home. If I squeeze it too much, it'll reset itself like it just did. Nikes. Oh well, we can undo that. And one more right here. All right, let's fill it up. Go. Open that up. Right. Another. Click. Okay, I'm gonna let this thing hang out here and idle for a while, just to make sure we're all good. In the meantime, I got one more chore to do, and that's gonna be to pull off these old polished wheels and we're gonna install these GT, I think these are GT wheels. But whatever they are, we're putting these wheels on. So we'll do that real quick while this thing hangs out and runs for a while. Then we'll go on our drive. Looks like temp's looking good, oil pressure's good. Everybody here is good, no check engine light. That was on when it came in. I don't know what it's for yet, but I'll scan it and find out. That fits. Yay! All right, let's see how these bad boys look. Okay, got them all installed. That's all 4 done. Let's roll the old ones outside for pickup. Mustang coming down, all the way down. Looking good. I like them. I really like them. Starting the engine. It's alive. All right, everybody, that's going to be a wrap for this one, I think. I'd like to thank everybody here for watching this video. I certainly do appreciate it. The only thing I'd ask of you is that if you like this video, please communicate that to me effectively by tapping that like button down below.
And most importantly, don't forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later.